Oh, hey everybody. So, like, today in 2019, um, really how relationships are formed, at least in my head. I mean, we're not really programmed to have relationships, so you take that out of mind. So, regardless of that, even if we aren't, you have the effort of trying, right? Um, you know, so if you're not going for kindness in a person, since we're not really that kind out here, then I guess you're going to be shallow and you're looking for looks, right? You know? Um, for me, I've tried it in many different combinations. Like I got bored with. I mean, I've never really dated anyone that was like extremely attractive. Like, and it's not like I'm looking for people who are unattractive, but it's just like usually for me, I like guys that are like intelligent or smart. So that's hot to me. But what I don't get today is why everyone is so. At least the majority of guys that I've encountered are either just super, just non-confident. Like there's this like thing within inside them that basically says no, I'm not attractive, or no, I'm not smart, or no. Like for me, I don't feel like I'm that intellectual, but I'm very creative. So when it comes to crafting things and building things and making things and coming up with things and ideas, I'm kind of that person. Like if there was a group project, I'd probably be the one that would actually do the whole thing. And I have before in the past. So like for me, I mean, even group projects, they're a relationship as well. So relationships to me today are very like null, as you can say. Like to me, like they don't really exist. We're kind of just placed with each other. Sometimes just because. Sometimes our insecurities within ourselves, or the insecurities we find ourselves being with another person, is always a problem. And it's not like, you know, I don't know. Like for me, I couldn't be with a guy that smacks his mouth when he eats. So that's an example. So that would freaking drive me crazy. And so like not everyone is programmed to keep their mouth shut and keep the food in their mouth. So it's like you're literally like trying to find a needle in a haystack when you're trying to find someone who is compatible to. And you don't want to be with someone who's going to irritate you, or someone who just talks their head off all the time. Cuz like even when I'm doing like my job, like when I did Uber back in Florida, like I knew when people didn't want to talk with me and I knew when people wanted to talk with me. So like I try to, place it to where, I didn't talk like when they're in the car, they were doing their own thing, so I would give them their space. And so like that's kind of like what I would do. Like that's what I did. And that's just me in general. So like yeah, relationships today. Futile. So they talk about this self-care thing today because we're so tired of each other that we basically are just, I don't know. For me, I'm just like, I already know I'm not programmed to be with anybody. Okay. I mean, I can't even like. It's like I had this conversation with my family when we were at the table at my mom's birthday, like the other day, and my sister and I trying to explain to my mom that, mom, it's not the same as when you grew up. Like it's totally different now. Like for example, my whole family at the table. If everyone's on a different level, how the heck are we going to be on the same page? If my sister's thinking of one thing and my brother's saying another thing and I'm saying something completely different, my dad's saying something completely different, my mom's saying something completely different, how the heck are we all on the same page here? We are literally all in different worlds. Literally, everybody at the table is at different worlds. So how are you supposed to keep a family together when everyone's? I mean, I don't know. We managed to do it. I have no idea how we've managed through all these years to keep together, but it was really nice actually. The dinner was very nice with my mom and my dad and my family. Like it was probably one of the best dinners ever. But like I don't know, like it was like when my sister and I were telling my mom, we're like, Mom, it's not the same as it used to be. Like people like as cute and as campy as like being part of owning a camp. We were talking about owning a camp or something, or having a camp or whatever. Having a camp or whatever. We're just like we all want that campy feeling, but it's really not there anymore. Like my sister was like no one really would go to that because it's like no one really cares for camps anymore. Like for me, I would, because I like outdoorsy stuff, and I don't know, I like that kind of stuff. But like the majority of people today are just either on their phones or just doing crazy stuff, or like, I mean, we're living in a non-future. So when you're living in a non-future, you're like just set up for disaster in a sense. You're being placed in a spot where you're being programmed to do things that are not very futuristic. It's like the opposite of day, you know? So like if you're being programmed and being told to do not so nice things, how the heck can you hold a relationship? How the heck can you know, how the heck can you even build a future? How the heck is time even moving forward? Like this, all these things when you're awake, it's just like, then what the heck am I doing here? Like, all in all, I'm gay, so what the fuck am I doing here, you know? Like, I guess this is my utopia. Is this supposed to be my utopia then? A non future? It's like, is this even possible? Is this even real? Like, am I even really here? Like, what is this place? Like, you really come to wonder when you're really awake. You're just like, oh my, I'm like doing this job every day. I'm just like, why am I here? What am I doing? There's no future, so what? Why the fuck am I even? Who am I working for? Why am I working for it? What am I going for? Nothing here, no relationship, no place to call my own, you know. Shitty job as usual, my whole life. Rude ass people dealing with. I mean, no one really is rude when I do Postmate because Postmate's more simpler than Uber and Lyft, let me tell you. With Postmate, you pick up the food and then you drop it off and that's it. No converse. Well, thanks. You're very attractive too. And she was actually attractive. But I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's the extent of it, That's just small, but it doesn't pay very well. So it's like this like ongoing circle I'm living with everybody. It's like what is this place? Like really, why am I here? What is the goal? What is the process in us all moving forward? Because we are not moving forward. You know? It's almost like you're in an outdoor prison. Like when you're out here, people can say, "Oh no, you're free. No, you would rather be out here than in prison." But I'm like, I feel like I'm so imprisoned when I'm out here, you know? It feels almost as if it's like a prison when I'm out here. It's almost like I'm doing time, you know? Like there's no freedom out here. When like we should all be getting along, we should all be having a good time, we should all be nice to each other. Like it's not hard to be nice to people. It's not. But like when my mom does her job, she's just always telling me these same stories. I'm like, "Mom, why are you telling me these stories? Like it's pointless. Quit telling me these stupid stories because I've seen it my whole life. Like you should know by now how this place operates. Like it's not hard to figure it out. It's right in front of you. Look at everybody. Look how everyone's acting. The freaking zombies out here. Like there's no shock and surprise like when she tells me something crazy when some lawyer lady's in the back acting really like she's like, "Do you know who I am?" And mom's like, "No." But I'm like, "Mom, what you should have said, do you know whose car you're in?" That's what I would have said. If someone's having that much of attitude to me in my own car. Like these people act like they own you sometimes when they pop in your world. It's like, everyone's in their own little worlds, in their own little heads out here. So no one realizes that we're all, it's like worlds colliding. We're like popping into each other's life when it's like, oh, get out of my life, It's like, oh, get away from me. And that's why we all don't like each other, because we're not all on the same page. Everyone's in their own fucking world, and we're all in the same world. If that makes any sense. Like the logic of it. No one understands the logic that we live. The people around us, the things that we experience, the crazy things we see on the news and TV. Like you guys think this is all normal. Like you think this is like this is like, it's like no one understands like this programmed life we live. Like no one gets it. Like it'd be more a shock to me, seeing like if our lives were a little bit more better and I saw like something crazy on the news. I'm like, oh wow, something crazy on the news. I'm like, oh wow, like that's the time to be shocked when things are actually really to be shocked. But like I've had my life to this point where I'm like, what is supposed to be shocking anymore? Like what am I supposed to be like scared about? What am I supposed to be like what is it? Like when's the happening? Like when am I actually gonna start moving forward? Like what is this? Like why am I here? Why am I turning on this TV? Why are they telling me this? And why is it so important to me? when nothing really is happening in a sense, and when we're living a life that's not progressing, when it's not moving forward. Like, what is supposed to be shocking to me? You know? That's why I'm like, I've already reached past that point where I'm like, pushing past it. I'm like what? What? Like, what? Huh? You know, I'm not even upset about anything anymore. Like, when my friends tell me all these, like, stupid stories about other people that they meet, I'm just like, like, why are you telling me this? Why is it important? Why is this supposed to be shocking to me? Like, it's not of being disrespectful. It's just of how many times I've heard the same thing where I'm just like, now I'm like, well, well, like, what's next? Like, it's like, what, what, what's next? What's next? It's like, but yeah, just thought I'd share that. You all have a wonderful evening wherever you are.